हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज के इस वीडियो में आई एक्सप्लेन द कंप्लीट सिलेबस ऑफ EMRS ESSE 2025 फॉर फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर पोस्ट, कवरिंग बोथ टीयर 1 दैट इज जनरल पेपर एंड टीयर 2 दैट इज फिजिकल एजुकेशन सब्जेक्ट पेपर। सो आइए शुरू करते हैं समझदारी से प्रिपरेशन की दिशा में पहला कदम रखते हुए, दैट इज द कंप्लीट सिलेबस डिस्कशन। The syllabus of the Tier 1 examination is same for all the TGTs including our subject that is physical education. Tier 1 the जो examination है that is qualifying in nature and it will be of 100 marks. I have already mentioned in my previous video. You can see my previous video also. So there will be 6 parts in this section. Okay. And Tier 1 का जो exam है वो आपकी टीचिंग एप्टीट्यूड, जनरल अवेयरनेस, रीजनिंग, आईसीटी नॉलेज एंड सब्जेक्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग परखने के लिए होती है। सो इन द फर्स्ट पार्ट देयर इज जनरल अवेयरनेस। दिस सेक्शन चेक्स दैट आप अपने आसपास यानी सराउंडिंग्स एंड द वर्ल्ड के बारे में कितने जानकारी रखते हैं। इसमें शामिल है जनरल नॉलेज, करंट अफेयर्स, इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स, अवार्ड्स, बुक्स एंड ऑथर्स, स्पोर्ट्स, जियोग्राफी, हिस्ट्री, इंडियन पॉलिटी, इकोनॉमी, साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एनवायरनमेंट के सवाल। विशेष ध्यान दें on current issues from the last 6 to 8 months, especially related to education, sports and government policies for tribals, as they are highly relevant for this. Okay, next part is part second, and it is of reasoning ability. See, puzzles and sitting arrangement. It may be the circular, linear or tabular types. And data sufficiency, to check if the given data is enough to answer a question or not. Then verbal reasoning. So the statement based questions will be there in this section. Then inequality and coding decoding. Then blood relation, direction test, series and sequence, and assertion reason based questions and Venn diagrams will be there in this part 2. The next part is part 3, knowledge of ICT. ये भाग आपकी कंप्यूटर एंड डिजिटल लिटरेसी के जानकारी को परखता है। तो इसमें भी there will be 15 marks in this particular section, and the topic includes here fundamentals of computer system, hardware, software, input out devices, etc. You have to have the knowledge about these things. Then basics of operating systems like Windows, Linux and their functions. Then Office, MS Office, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Then keyboard and shortcuts and their purposes. And next is important computer terms and their abbreviations. Okay. Then computer networks like LAN, WAN, then internet basics like browsers, email and online safety and security. And one more thing is there, that is the cyber security. And as the MOOCs platform also continues various types of courses on cyber security. So next part is part 4, that is teaching aptitude. This part tests how suitable you are for this teaching profession. So the topics included here: teaching, इसका nature, characteristics, objectives and basic requirements क्या क्या है. Then the learner's characteristics, अलग अलग एज ग्रुप के स्टूडेंट्स की साइकोलॉजिकल स्टेट्स को अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं इस स्टेज में. Then factors affecting teaching like the learning environment, motivation, communication, each and everything. Then teaching aids like the charts, models, technology tools, and Blackboard use. And the methods of teaching like the lecture method, demonstration method, discussion, inductive and deductive, and project method, etc. You have to have the knowledge of these things. Then the evaluation system like summative, formative, assessment, grading system, and feedback techniques you have to read in this particular section. So let me show you the next part, that is part 5. It will be for the domain knowledge, and there will be two sections, section A and B. So in the section A, there will be experiential, activity based pedagogy and case study based questions. इसमें क्या होगा ना, questions on how learning can be made practical through experience or experiments and real life application. And in the second section, section B, you will learn about National Education Policy NEP 2020, and यहाँ पे you will learn about its vision, key principles, changes in school structure, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, emphasizing on the multidisciplinary learning, skill education and assessment reforms. And here will be the part 6, और ये भी आपका होगा of 30 marks. इसमें भी A, B and C है. C में क्या है, आपका रीजनल लैंग्वेज होगा, विच एवर यू विल ऑप्ट फॉर एज योर रीजनल लैंग्वेज. ओके, आपके रीजनल लैंग्वेज, और ईच एंड एवरी लैंग्वेज means there will be the general English and general Hindi paper and one optional regional language will be there, है ना, जिसमें भी आपको you have to gain at least 4 marks out of 10. ठीक है, इसमें भी आपका 10 होगा. जनरल हिंदी भी जो है उसमें भी आपका 10 मार्क्स होगा. एंड इन द जनरल इंग्लिश सेक्शन you have to gain at least 4 marks out of 10 marks. Okay, so in general English you have to read about verb, tense, voice, subject verb agreement, articles, comprehension, fill in the blanks, adverb, error correction, sentence rearrangement, unseen passages, vocabulary, antonyms and synonyms, grammar, idioms and phrases. So it will be very basic level. So do not panic and keep on your preparation, continue, and there will be no issue to qualify these things. I'm sure about that. And जो सेक्शन बी है दैट इज जनरल हिंदी, इसमें संधि, समास, विलोम शब्द, पर्यायवाची शब्द, समानार्थी शब्द, वाक्यांश के लिए एक शब्द, मुहावरे एंड लोकोक्तियां, अपाठित गद्यांश पर आधारित प्रश्न, ये सब चीज होंगे. And next is part C, that is the regional language. So the candidates can choose from 20 regional language such as Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Telugu, Urdu and others. If you opt Hindi or English, for the difficulty level will be higher. ठीक है, जनरल इंग्लिश और हिंदी से अगर आप लोग हिंदी और इंग्लिश चूज कर रहे हो एज ए रीजनल लैंग्वेज, देन द डिफिकल्टी लेवल will be higher a little bit. Okay, so you can see over here that the regional languages and the same thing will be there for if you take the regional language English as your regional language, and this will be the syllabus for that particular thing. And आपको ये जो 20 listed लैंग्वेजेस है, इसमें से यू हैव टू चूज वन ऑफ दिस 20 languages, whichever you are feeling comfortable. So this much were the syllabus of tier 1 examination. General paper. अब हम लोग जानेंगे कि what will be the syllabus of our subject physical education, जो कि tier 2 में होने वाला है. Okay. So there will be of 100 marks as we have already discussed in our previous video, and the breakdown of the marks will be 40 marks of objective questions and total 60 marks descriptive questions. 15 questions will be there and you have to attempt that 15 questions, and as for that will get 60 marks. Okay. So in that entire syllabus of physical education, it has been divided into three parts. Okay, A, B, and C. In part A, there is the concept of physical education. यहाँ हम क्या जानेंगे? What is the meaning of physical education? And what are the definitions given by various educationists, physical educationists, and its aim and objectives? What is the modern concept and what are the scopes of physical education, need and importance of physical education, place of physical education in the total education process, and what are the conditions of physical education in current scenario. We have to have the knowledge of all these things. Okay, second thing is physiological aspects of physical education. So इसमें muscular system, जैसे कि which is the largest muscles in human body, which is the smallest muscle, which is the strongest muscle, and all those things will be discussed over here. Then the circulatory system and cardiovascular system, then respiratory system, then digestive system. Apart from that, you have to read the skeletal system and other system to, for the better understanding. नहीं तो कहीं भी कुछ भी क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा तो हम लोगों के लिए we have to face the difficulty if we don't read all the things. Okay, so this particular systems के ऊपर what will be the effect of exercise, we have to know that. Then third thing, that is the psychological aspect of physical education. See, physical education is that subject which is a combination of all the subjects like देखो sociology, psychology, then physiology, training, each and everything is biomechanics, kinesiology, each and everything is there in physical education. So very interesting subject also, है ना? So the definition of psychology, क्योंकि as we are going to deal with the students, so we have to have the knowledge of psychology and sports psychology also. Then the achievement and motivation in sports. What will be the motivation in sports, like extrinsic motivation, intrinsic motivation, positive motivation, negative motivation, all the things we'll discuss in this chapter. Then the sportsmanship and sports ethics. Key, what should be done, what should not be done in this section, we have to discuss. So next thing is physical fitness and wellness. So before going to do anything, any work, we have to have the fitness or ability to do that particular, है ना? So in this chapter we have to read the meaning and importance of physical fitness and wellness, then what are the components of physical fitness and wellness, then what are the factors that affects the physical fitness and wellness, and what are the principles of physical fitness, and what is growth and development, how the fitness can be developed, है ना? And in which phase of growth what developments occurs, which components of fitness developed in which particular stage of growth also. ठीक है. Then the means of fitness development. वैसा कौन सा तरीका है that will be followed for developing the fitness. Then aerobic activities. Aerobic activities like jogging, cycling, calisthenics, and rhythmic exercises. Then participation in games and sports. We'll discuss the participation in games and sports of women and children, and we have to give the emphasize on children with special abilities too. Over here. Then the training related thing we have to know in this section. Okay. Then training methods in this section will know what is the sports training, meaning and concept of training, what is sports training, what is warming up, what is cooling down, and the importance, and what are the methods of training, what are the principles of training, है ना? What are the methods of the development of strength, then like the methods of development of strength like isometric and isokinetic exercise, isotonic exercise, we will discuss. Then the methods of endurance development, like the continuous method, interval training method, and fartlek training method. Then the methods of speed development, that is acceleration run and pace runs. Each and everything we'll discuss in this section. You have to read well. And next thing is sociological aspects of physical education. So as I have told earlier that it is a combination of all the subjects. So here you can see that sociology comes. So now what is the meaning of sociology and what is the importance of sociology in physical education and sports? Then games and sports as man's cultural heritage. है ना? Development of leadership qualities in group dynamics and the group dynamics we have to know in this section. Okay. Next part B. ये part B में हम लोगों को क्या पढ़ना है? History of the game. You will choose any game. Actually, you have to have the knowledge of each and every game. Means various types of terminologies related to various games. You have to लेटेस्ट जनरल रूल्स ऑफ द गेम. मतलब अभी किसी रिसेंटली किसी गेम्स का कुछ रूल्स का कोई मॉडिफिकेशन हुआ है या क्या हुआ है वो आप लोगों को अपडेटेड रहना है. देन मेजरमेंट ऑफ प्ले फील्ड, दिस इज वेरी मच इम्पोर्टेंट. सो you have to know all the measurements of the fields and specification of sports equipments. जैसे कि एक अगर आपको पूछा जाए कि व्हाट विल बी द डायमेंशंस ऑफ खो खो, तो यू हैव टू आंसर दैट क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है, तो आप बहुत अच्छे से ये गेम्स एंड स्पोर्ट्स का जो मेजरमेंट डायमेंशन कोड डायमेंशन रिलेटेड जो टर्मिनोलॉजीज है आपको इसके बारे में पढ़ना. देन इम्पोर्टेंट टूर्नामेंट्स एंड वेन्यूज, इसमें टाइप्स ऑफ टूर्नामेंट्स भी आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. देन लाइक जो ओलंपिक कहाँ होने वाला है, नेक्स्ट ओलंपिक which will be the venue of the Olympic of 2036. Then sports personality means the famous personalities of various games and sports you have to know. Then what are the sports awards given to the sports persons you have to update it with. Then the next section, the next part is part C. Okay. So इसमें क्या है हेल्थ एजुकेशन. इसमें आपको जानना है व्हाट इज हेल्थ, व्हाट is the definition given by WHO, when it was modified, in which year, and what are the terms added in that modification, and the concept of and objectives of health education you have to know. Then what are the importance of health education, what are the principles of health education, then the importance of community participation for health promotion, like health run, ऐसा होता है. You have to follow the NCERT of class 11 and 12, and we'll discuss in our class also. And then the welfare of the individual, family and community. Then you have to know the community sports also, है ना. So next है communicable disease. It is also the part of health education itself. So communicable disease का meaning क्या है? What are the communicable disease? Then the essential conditions for communicable disease to occur and disease process. कैसे ये disease हो जाता है? Then common alert signals indicating onset of communicable disease. What are the symptoms of communicable disease? And then the mode of transmission of communicable disease. Then prevention of the spread, that is transmission of AIDS, hepatitis B and hepatitis C. Special emphasis given to these three diseases, but we have to look after all the diseases, communicable disease. Okay. So next thing is contemporary health problems. क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम फेस करना पड़ता है. ठीक है. तो देखो, द अब्यूज ऑफ अल्कोहल, टोबैको, ड्रग्स एंड द इफेक्ट of abuse on individual and family community, effect of alcohol, tobacco and drugs on sports person, and eating habits that causes obesity and its effects on the health of the individual. यहाँ पे हम लोगों को we have to read also about the lifestyle diseases. Okay. The next thing is healthful living. ये भी हेल्थ एजुकेशन का एक पार्ट है, जिसमें कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट हम लोग जानेंगे. व्हाट आर द स्कोप ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, लिविंग एनवायरनमेंट, वर्क प्लेस एनवायरनमेंट एंड एनवायरनमेंट फॉर लीजर एक्टिविटी. सो हर एक जगह का एनवायरनमेंट अलग अलग होता है ना. जो लिविंग एनवायरनमेंट है, इट डिफर्स फ्रॉम द वर्क प्लेस एनवायरनमेंट. मे बी द टेंशन and encouragement all affects the workplace environment too, and the environment for the leisure activities where we are doing the leisure time activities or recreation. That environment we also that environment we will also discuss. Then the what are the essential elements for healthful environment? क्या क्या वो एलिमेंट्स चाहिए होता है एक एनवायरनमेंट को हेल्थी बनाने के लिए. लाइक सेफ वाटर चाहिए होता है, लो लेवल नॉइज पोल्यूशन नहीं होना चाहिए, देन एयर पोल्यूशन नहीं होना चाहिए, सराउंडिंग्स क्लीन होना चाहिए, लो लेवल्स ऑफ रेडियो एक्टिव रेडिएशन ये होना चाहिए, एंड द एब्सेंस ऑफ हैजर्ड्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एक्सीडेंट्स. वो सब चीजें जो हैजर्ड्स को लाते हैं, बहुत सारा दुर्घटनाओं को लाते हैं, उसका एब्सेंस चाहिए मुझे हमें. जो वेरियस काइंड्स ऑफ एक्सीडेंट्स अकर होता है जिनके कारण, कहाँ, होम एंड नेबर, इन रूरल एंड अर्बन एरियाज, schools and workplace, during leisure time activities and recreation and sports. And then the role of individual in improvement of environment. अगर ये environment खराब भी हो गया तो what will be the role of an individual to protect the environment for the promotion of health and prevention of accidents related to transportation, swimming and water sports, disaster preparedness and healthcare during disaster. Okay. So next thing is, so इसमें मेनली हम लोगों को स्वास्थ्य वातावरण का मतलब और स्वच्छ हवा, सुरक्षित पानी और स्वच्छता के बारे में जानना है. ओके. देन द फैमिली हेल्थ एजुकेशन. सो ये family, as we all know that family plays an important role in shaping health behavior, है ना? So द इसमें हम लोग मेनली क्या जानेंगे? एडोलशंस। एडोलशंस के बारे में जानेंगे। देन यहाँ पे हम लोग जानेंगे जो रिप्रोडक्शन, इसके बारे में जानेंगे। देन एडोलशन हो गया, रिप्रोडक्शन हो गया, एंड पेरेंट्स रोल के बारे में विल कंसर्न। ओके, सो लाइक adolescence, how to handle the emotional and physical changes wisely, we have to know in this section. Human reproduction में we have to aware the about the menstruation, conception, and prenatal care. Okay, then we'll know the parents' role in guidance, support, and education about health and hygiene. यहाँ पे जो menstruation है, यहाँ पे बहुत सारा menstrual dysfunction भी है जो we have to know. Okay, and then next thing is prevention and first aid for common sports injuries. So here the soft tissue injuries like sprain, strain. Then we'll learn about the bone injuries. Then we'll learn like the fracture. Bone injuries like fracture, various kinds of fractures. Then joint injuries like the dislocation. And first aid, obviously, we'll know about the first aid like rest, ice, compression, elevation. Okay. So friends, that was the complete syllabus of ESSC 2025 Tier 1 and Tier 2 examination for physical education and also the general paper. So I hope this video will help you to plan your preparation properly. And अगली क्लास में हम हर टॉपिक को अलग अलग विस्तार से समझेंगे. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to PE Insights with Shahid. Thank you so much.